You're welcome to your enlightening family law talk show, Late Night Intercourse, with Chioma Onyenucheya Uko, the Zest family lawyer. And of course, this is coming live to you from your favorite radio station, People's 105.5 FM, Abuja, the station that's all about you. As always, we have brought for you tonight a conversation around a subject as it relates to family, marriages, and such domestic relationships. And in tonight's conversation, we will be asking the question and having a conversation around whether a man is entitled to a refund upon a divorce. And I'll share with you the premise on which I decided for us to have this conversation tonight. And as you all already know, every episode of the Late Night Intercourse is, a discussion. It is a relationship. We're having an intercourse here. We're sharing thoughts. It's symbiotic. It's not just me talking to you. I'm hoping to, expecting to hear you share with me your thoughts, your opinion on the topic. What are your experiences around it? What do you think? Do you think a man should be entitled to a refund upon a divorce? On what premise do you think that? Or do you think no? Why? A man shouldn't be entitled to any refund. I'm going to share a story with you in a bit, and I'll be expecting you to call in and share your thoughts on it. The number to call after I'm done sharing this very short story is 091 12221055. The number again is 091 12221055. You may also call us on 090 80 633. Sorry, it is 090 80 633. Yes, that's the number. So let me repeat it again. Sorry for the initial error. 090 80 633. And if you're not already following us on social media, quickly follow us on X at People's 105.5 FM, on Facebook, People's 105.5 FM Abuja, and on Instagram, it is People's FM_ Abuja. So like I said, the question we will be, discussing, analyzing tonight is whether a man is entitled to a refund upon divorce. And the premise on which we'll be having this conversation is a story I heard. This is not a story from a client. Of course, client consultations are confidential, so I'm not sharing a story of a client, but a story I heard. And in that story, they said a certain man who had been married to his wife for some years, I'm not sure of the exact number of years they've been married, but they already had 3 children together, and then the marriage went south. The marriage went sour, and they were getting a divorce. And the man has gone to his in-laws to demand a refund. And in making this demand for a refund, the man, approached his estranged wife's elder brother and insisted that, amongst other things, they must refund him the money he used in training his wife through school. He said he was the one who trained her through school, so that he must get a refund for training her through school, and that he must also get a refund for some of the gifts he came along with at the point of getting married to her. So he was making those demands, and the family, are saying they are refunding no such thing. So I understand there is a serious quarrel brewing between the man and his estranged wife's family. And the man is insisting that he's entitled to all of those refunds. And after I heard that story, I was asking myself, is that man truly entitled to getting that refund? Why would he be so entitled, assuming he is? Or why would he not be entitled to getting a refund for whatever it is he spent marrying his wife? And we know that marriages are essentially the bedrock of families. That is not to say that there is no family without a marriage. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that generally speaking, marriages are the bedrock of families. And that means that at the root of most families, is a marriage between a man and a woman, as we have it in Nigeria and in our different cultures in Nigeria. So when a man and a woman come together in marriage, depending on the kind of marriage they have, there is usually the payment of a bride price, assuming it is marriage under native law and custom. And though some people eventually go ahead and have a marriage under the act, they usually will start with a marriage under native law and custom. And that is because most of our cultures realize or have the belief that marriages are between families, not just between the parties, the individuals who are coming together in matrimony. And because it is between families, the family of the groom would usually visit the family of the bride and, pay a bride price seeking the hand of the bride in marriage. And after that happens, sometimes they will proceed to, further contract that marriage under the act by going to the registry or going to a licensed place of worship where they will have a wedding. But regardless what they do, assuming they just leave it at going to the assuming they leave it at going to the family of the groom visiting the family of the bride, and the family of the groom pays a bride price in taking the bride as wife, will such a man be entitled to a refund upon the breakdown of that marriage where a divorce eventually happens? Assuming that marriage is marriage under the act, the law does not make any prescription for the payment of a bride price or for the payment of any prescribed amount for a woman to become married to a man, except for official fees that are paid at the registry, for administrative purposes and things like that. But there is no payment expected from the groom to the bride to symbolize the marriage or to perfect the marriage. There is no such thing expected where it is a marriage under the act. But because most marriages will start from a marriage under native law and custom, in ensuring that the families are in agreement to that marriage and give their blessing to that marriage, it will usually happen. And where that happens, customs vary. There are different customs depending on the culture of the people, different tribes. Even amongst tribes, there are still different cultures even within people of the same tribe. And I know that in some communities, you would usually find that where a woman or a marriage between a man and a woman comes to an end, regardless at whose prompting that is happening, one of the ways the primary way, the key way to show that marriage has been dissolved, the key proof that marriage has been dissolved will be the return of the bride price. I'll repeat that. The principal way, the primary way, the key way that it can be proven that a marriage under native law and custom has come to an end is the return of the bride price by the bride's family to the groom's family. Where the parties drift apart, where the parties get separated and they just go their separate ways without the return of the bride price, and that marriage was contracted under native law and custom, particularly as applies in most cultures, that marriage cannot be said to have been dissolved. It means that the both parties are still married but just living differently. So that will mean that ordinarily, the man making the demand for a refund of bride price from the bride's family has a valid claim. It means that he wants to ensure that that marriage has been fully dissolved by, recovering the bride price he paid as a symbol, as a token of that marriage, of when it was being contracted. But like I said, this is a tradition or a custom that varies from one people to the other. Cultures differ. I am also aware that in some cultures, where a woman has had children for a man, or where that marriage has lasted for a certain period, this may also differ from place to place. By those customs, that man will no longer be entitled to any refund upon the dissolution of such a marriage. Like I said, these differ from places to places. So what may obtain in community A is not likely to obtain in community B. So for those communities where a man is not entitled to a refund of bride price because the woman has given birth to children, or because that marriage has lasted for an extended period, it will then mean that that man is not entitled to a refund, regardless his misgivings or claims or what have you. Then again, a further distinction needs to be drawn between bride price and some of the other gifts and items that a groom's family will come along with in marrying a bride. And once we return from this very short break, lawyer, and we're coming live to you from your favorite radio station,